What is going on, you guys? It's Iveth and I'm back with another video. I hope you guys are doing super well. I'm doing super well. I'm super excited right now and I cannot wait to tell you why. I mean, as you can tell by the video, you already know what I'm gonna say. But I took Nclex on Monday. Today is Friday, but by the time this video goes up, it'll be Sunday. So I took it on Monday and I passed. Woo! I am so happy. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. If you guys are about to take Nclex, you might want to listen up because I'm going to give you all the deets that I studied in order to pass in 75 questions. So a little bit about my test day. So I went into the city to take the test. Some of you know that I live in Jersey, so like I had to take the path over like super early in the morning. I was up at like, well, I wasn't even up at 5. My alarm went off at 5, but I didn't sleep at all. I couldn't sleep. My anxiety was through the roof because I was like, oh my God, what's this test gonna be like? Am I even prepared? Like, did I study enough? Like, all of those things kind of go through your head, that test anxiety. But I promise you guys got this. You guys got this. Trust me. I was so frustrated the night before because I couldn't sleep and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so tired to take this test and I'm gonna fail. And I was like freaking out. My alarm went off at 5 a.m. while I was staring at the ceiling and you would think that I had like 3 Red Bulls that morning. I was so energized. I don't know, adrenaline, anxiety, I don't know. Luckily, like me and a really good friend of mine from school went to go take the test together. Like it was just nice to kind of have someone there to like talk with before the test and kind of like get all of our stresses out. So during the test, I felt oddly comfortable, and it was because the system looked exactly how UWorld looks like. And I think I've said this in another video before that I was doing tons of UWorld questions. Like I went through almost all of it. I think maybe I left like 150 questions out or something like that because it was cutting it too close and I was starting to get so fatigued from doing so many questions that like I just kind of like the last 2 days before the test, I didn't study, I didn't look at anything. So if I could give you guys one piece of advice, is the day before the test or like 2 days before the test, that like weekend, if it's on a Monday for example, like take time for you, do something that you want to do. If you spent 4 or 5 weeks studying straight, it's really good to just get out of the house, get out of your workspace and just relax and do something for you, you know? So when I got out of there, I was like, okay, it was a lot easier than I thought that it was gonna be. I really thought that it was gonna be just like UWorld. I got really concerned about this because I was very aware of the adaptive testing aspect of the test. The more questions you get wrong, the easier the questions get. And the more questions you get right, the harder the questions get. And so I kind of felt like my questions were easier. And so I was getting nervous like midway through the test that I wasn't doing well because I was like, okay, either I studied very well and I feel like I'm confident in my ability, or I am getting all of these questions wrong. So that's my take and that's how I was feeling after the test. So I didn't record my reaction, but I will tell you guys how I studied for the Nclex and kind of like my tips and tricks. I did use UWorld. You guys have to get this UWorld thing, man. Like I know that it's so expensive, and I got the package with the 90-day access and the 2 assessments. I'm not sure. I don't think that's the most expensive one, but it might be like the second to the more expensive one. And I can't say anything bad about this system, except, you know, sometimes I feel like some of these questions like are wrong, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you do a few of them and then you're like, wait, but I thought that this was the right answer before and then now it's not the right answer, and you kind of just like gotta go back and forth between questions and rationales. But at the end of the day, it starts to make sense. And what I really liked about it is that it really prepares you how to answer these questions. I will show you guys my UWorld scores. Oh my gosh, this thing is dying. Who do I think I am showing you guys my stuff, and I'm on 5% on my iPad. Oh my God, hold on. Give me a second, y'all. I'm a mess. Now that I have myself together, I hope you can see this with this connected to the charger. So embarrassing, but this was my UWorld score. I got a 56%, guys. Okay, like for UWorld, this is a great score. They say that 60 is the new 90 when you are studying for Nclex and doing these practice questions because they are so hard. I heard someone say that they're very medical based, like instead of nursing based, and I agree with that for some of them, but I thought that most of them were very nursing driven. Obviously, like for an Nclex exam, you want Nclex questions. So you guys, don't beat yourself up over your scores, your percentile scores, any of that. Like, I don't want you guys to sit there and be me, because I sat there and looked at my scores and I was like, man, there's sometimes I think like on 3 of my little practice test exams that I got like in the 40s. I got so discouraged by these scores because I was like, man, if these are the scores that I'm getting on a practice test, I don't want to know what I'm going to be getting on an Nclex exam. But you only need to know what everyone else knows. And if you know where I pulled that from, then you know my next point is going to be Klimek lectures. You guys, please check those out. But before I go into those, I did take 2 assessments on UWorld. My very first assessment I had done like when I was like halfway through the questions, and I got borderline, and I was like, oh, so this thing can't even read whether or not I'm gonna pass or not. It kind of drove me a little bit nuts. And after, I think a week before I took the Nclex, I did the second assessment and I got high chance of passing, which kind of made me a little, you know, like more confident in my ability after that, because I was like, oh, maybe I just needed to do more questions. I did take notes on UWorld, like if there was like a rationale that I really needed to understand, or like something that I felt like it was really important, I would write it down. I can't tell you that I went in there and reviewed everything to a T, because I didn't. There were some things that I just didn't go over. I felt like UWorld's really good for practicing and reading over the rationale. I promise you, if you practice the question and read over the rationale, it'll stick just as much as you're writing it down and reviewing it. I feel like for me, that was like a big thing. Took notes on the Klimek lectures. The only thing about the Klimek lectures that I will say that I did not agree with was the fact that he said to throw out the ABCs. I didn't agree with that. It never worked for my UWorld questions. The thing that Klimek really helped me out with was the lab values and the electrolytes. So if you're hyper or hypo, kind of like what happens with each one. He really made it like a huge point to condense everything down and make things so that you can memorize it so much easier. So I really liked that about his lectures. For lab values, I use the Level Up RN flashcards for lab values. Otherwise, I didn't use like the MedSurg ones or at all, because I had UWorld. Like, I would say don't overwhelm yourself with the amount of resources. Stick to like 1 or 2 resources. Like, I think that like Klimek and UWorld were really good resources for that, because you got the lecture portion and then you got the practicing portion. And then for lab values, you got like the flashcards kind of thing where you did that. I also made flashcards for fluids, because fluids was something that like I screwed those up all the time. Other than that, you guys, like, relax the night before your test. You got this. Like, you sat there and studied your butt off. You've gone through nursing school. Nclex is just another test, just another hurdle you gotta get over. And with those words of encouragement, I will let you guys go. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I would love to hear from you guys. If you guys have other study tips to share with everyone on this channel, I would love if you guys would comment below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.